contentious G7 summit. President Trump clashing with the media while also trying to hammer out agreements with world leaders. Trump mixing it up with members of the press and also defending his trade policies earlier today.
I actually have a question for you on next year's G7 summit, but can I just clarify something you said? You mentioned earlier today.
One question. Go ahead.
Well, let me do the clarification and then I'll get to the question.
No.
You talked about calls.
Why keep repeating what some people would see as a clear lie?
Well, it was annexed during President, I know you like President Obama, but it was annexed during President Obama's term.
The back and forth and the changing statements from yourself so that...
Sorry, it's the way I negotiate. This has to be a deal that's better for us. And if it's not better, let's not do business together.
Back here at home, Democrats being criticized for attacking Trump on the economy while he was in France.
What the president is doing is totally irrational, and it is destabilizing the entire world economy.
Donald Trump has no plan. This is just chaos. And trade war by tweet is harmful to the U.S. economy.
The way this president has been using tariffs, he's been using them like a meat cleaver, or maybe the better word is a tweet cleaver.
The current strategy, I'm not even sure you can call it a strategy.
I think the president has botched this thing. Yeah.
All of this comes as the president was forced to defend himself from a report claiming he suggested using nuclear bombs to stop hurricanes from hitting the U.S. Trump says the story is ridiculous. We think this is a really important topic. You wanted to comment on it?
Well, I think, and Pete agrees with me, love the idea of nuking a hurricane. Okay, it's not surprising. Okay, none of this story is surprising or alarming at all. Because Trump is always an inquisitive, out-of-the-box thinker. He's always, every 5 seconds, he's asking a what-if type of question. And the media turns it into a front-page story, and then he's like, I didn't mean it. It's blah, 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 blah. But it's just a question, and sometimes these counterintuitive ideas work. People dynamite oil fires, right? I did some research. People fight fire with fire, right? They're called backfires. Dana, you know this.
Yep.
Also, it never rains on Russian parades. Why is that? Cloud seeding, right? They induce the rain before the parade. So these ideas, these crazy ideas had to come from somebody with big ideas, like, let's bomb that hurricane.
He's just raising questions. What I think is alarming is that somebody wrote this down in a meeting, in a National Security Council meeting, and gave it to the media. Yeah. Because that makes them feel important. Like they were trying to embarrass the president. He's not embarrassed.
And he shouldn't. He should be proud of that idea.
Absolutely. Wait a minute. Hold on. You know, sometimes this show knocks me out. I work here. So the two of you are saying that you believe that he did say this.
I do.
Yeah.
I do, too. I do.
Yeah.
You say that, too.
I would. Now, the president says it's fake news and that he never said
it. No, I think it's fake news that it's a serious consideration.
But he said he never said it.
Right, but he probably said it.
I can imagine that he would have asked a question in a National Security Council meeting, sure. Like, for example, when, I remember in, was it 07, 08, there was like an asteroid headed towards Earth. Like, what are we going to do? What are the options? What are the options? What can we do? Exactly.
Knock it out with a hurricane.
It's like...
The bomb causes the hurricane to go towards the asteroid.
Which will then protect the nuclear weapon?
Break into pieces and destroy the rest of ISIS.
Oh, perfect.
That's a good
what
plan.
do you think?
You never know. I never thought I would Google how do you nuke a hurricane, which I did today. Science is mixed. You know, no, I'm just kidding. The experts are reports.
I think they should nuke my head because it's going to explode any minute. Any minute.
This guy, to get to the G7, too, which was fascinating to watch. This guy's the American bull in the Euro weenie China shop.
Right.
And he walks in there and says, I've got big ideas. I'm putting America first. You're all globalists. I don't care what you have. And if you look at the leaders of Canada, not Boris Johnson, but formerly the UK, France, Germany, Italy, many of them are fundamentally unserious people about the real problems we're facing in the world today. Mm-hmm. They just go there and want to talk about climate change with each other.
I didn't like it that they brought Zarif there.
Oh, it was a terrible
move. And then this is the foreign minister of Iran, and he basically, Macron has him at a table. They say that the president knows about it, but they're all like, yuck. The photograph that the French released is Zarif at the table, and they're all laughing about it. I'm like, this guy is with a government that terrorizes innocent people. Mm-hmm. Nicole, I'll give you
Yes, so I love that you pointed to me to make sure that I knew who we were talking about. But I did know. I was following it. But the truth is that I agree that I think it really disrupted the whole purpose of this entire meeting. Do I think it's a good thing to open the discussions there and that Macron is trying to facilitate this conversation? Sure. But President Trump got out of the Iran nuclear deal because he didn't believe it was a good deal. He has yet to put forth what he thinks would be a better nuclear deal, which I would like to see that. However, I don't think he's really in a rush to have these conversations. He has said that he's open to it, but he's not in a rush. He really wants Iran to feel that squeeze a little bit more, in my opinion. But I do think communication's good. I don't think this weekend was a good time for them to really focus on that.
Let me just follow up. Let me first say, with regard to nuking a hurricane, you blow my mind.
Are you not for it?
I'll tell you why. I mean, you understand that there would be damage to human beings from the fallout from a nuclear explosion. You understand?
I am willing to listen to all sides of this debate.
I know, because this is how you view climate change as well. And the second point is, this was a bad weekend for the president in terms of dealing with the number one issue, Pete. Number one issue is we've got a trade war going on with China that's negatively impacting the global economy.
It was a great weekend for him on that.
And he didn't get any deal. He didn't get anybody
in
terms of the alliance.
He got a deal with the Japanese?
No, he didn't get our allies. Hang on. He didn't get our allies to say, we'll join you, Mr. President, and put pressure on the Chinese. Instead, what he does is he skips a meeting on climate change, right?
Thank God.
Oh, I was going, but I was late. No, you
see his meeting with India? Did you see his meeting with India?
You just gave up, Mr. President.
Macron did say that the French, at least the French position, was to agree on the intellectual property.
But they didn't. In other words, Dana, if you get a deal, if he was able to exert more pressure by bringing our allies to the table, but he didn't do that.
But I don't think that's going to get announced at the G7.
Well, he didn't do it. I think he didn't do that. I don't think he dealt with the situation in terms of the Iranians or the Syrians, Assad, which continues. You talk about ISIS. ISIS is growing by our own estimates.
Because most of the leaders at the G7 are unserious. They do.
I do
blame them.
You don't blame the president.
I'm just glad you said that the China showdown was the most significant issue we're facing, and not climate change, which is what I expected to hear you say.
No.
So most people aren't even playing at his level. Yes. He's willing to do tough things.
It's hard to play.
To Pete's point, whenever you're in an episode of the Trump show, it's no matter how many variables they are, the size of the variables, it's always Trump versus X, Y, and Z, whether it's hurricanes or Denmark or the media. But no matter the size of the variables, it's always 1-to-1. It's him and everyone else.
Yeah, well, no one else wants Russia in the G8. No, he's any progress on that?
outsized.
He made a comment about a tent, and people are running with it. He's not saying to let him back in and have it be
No,
a G8
he kind of did.
I think he did,
He said he would invite him. He made a case for it.
I just see it, again, that's him saying I'm open to things because he doesn't like black and white answers.
Why would you let Russia back in?
All right, we're going to go. They're yelling at me.